Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Relic 3 replay. Spawn on the bottom left side as the Magenta Empire, we have Jeromo. On the right side as the Green Empire, we have 1LLLLLL, 1L, 1LL. I think. I'm not sure which one's the ones and which one's the L's. We do now have these Dojo Corps advancing on forward. Dojo Corps advancing force, Empire Mirror. Both players could be eyeing for the northern oil derricks. Looks like there's no third Dojo Corps there. Going for Refiner Corps now. Over here, we do have a extra Dojo Corps advancing forward. Actually, not necessarily extra, just pushing it forward. Maybe trying to just put it right here to prevent the other Dojo Corps from advancing forward, if there were one. This Dojo Corps is deploying pretty soon. Over here, this Dojo Corps is going to deploy point blank. Doing good, you sir? We do now have the Instant Dojo deploying out Engineer. It does deploy out a handful of Tank Busters and a Imperial Warrior. We've got this Imperial Warrior Bonsai charging away. And may find himself a Tank Buster here. Tank Buster trying to destroy the Northern Oil Derrick. Does back off just a little bit. He can do a mute. Actually, he could Bonsai charge with this guy here and kill him off. If he's not in the garrison, he will get a free kill. And have a bit of damage in return. Do now have sudden transport from the field. I do see at least one tank buster on the inside. There's probably a fully load of tank busters. Jet Tengus do fly about. Green's now going to be trying to engage the Jet Tengu, trying to protect his tank busters from being dropped down in so he can destroy the oil derrick. Sudden transport charge on forward. Got another Jet Tengu out on the field. Does spot that. He's a honorable discharge. Does get 3 of the tank busters. There's a pretty big kill there. So having trouble beating brutal AI? It all depends what type of game it is. Let's take out the oil derrick now. I'm not sure if AI in this game like to cheat resources or not. A lot of RTSs, they just tend to cheat resources. Relic 2 was infamous for that, where they basically had infinite income that just mass spammed out everything. Personally, I'm more just content with the campaign. The campaign's always fun, but of course you don't want to play that for so much. We now have, we got the 5 Jet Tengus pushing way forward. We do have the 2 civilian structures engaging, and we do have the 2 tank busters here. He's trying to destroy the oil derrick now as to mimic his opponent. Does lose one of those Jet Tengus or Mega Tengus. The other one's going to be pursued. Got more Mega Tengus here. The sudden transport absorbing shots there is actually pretty good for Magenta because there's literally nothing in there. Don't ask me. I cannot give you one. I'm not sure what would be good for AI because honestly, I'm mostly just cast. I don't really play against AI. I don't really play the game itself. I usually been playing in some other games in my free time. And I'm not good at this game. So you're asking the wrong person. You now have these Jet Tanks pushing forward. Green does have a superior number, but some of them are wounded. Good focus fire coming from both sides. Look at this, a unit that doesn't really overkill much each other. Magenta does lose most of his. Does drop down, trying to hit this one here. 4 or 5 remain for Green. Does have 5 remaining. One's a little bit wounded. This is seeing some Imperial Warrior fire there. Still fighting up here, and over here we've got the sudden transport, which I believe still has nothing there. These disguise, see, he's one of them, right? And it does blow up. Can you see repairs from your opponent's structures if a sudden transport disguises them? It wouldn't surprise me if it does. Down south, we do have a Striker VX pushing way forward. Now the Imperial Warrior does manage to get inside the garrison in time. Over here, we got these tank busters dig on in. Those were the 2 that destroyed the oil derrick. I hear a car alarm going off outside. It's definitely not mine, and I didn't actually hit the panic button because my keys are not close to me. Sorry if you may hear the car alarm go off in the background. You now have the fortress walls going up, trying to stall off the tsunami tank, though there is an opening up there. You do got a Striker VX on the high ground, able to provide some good anti-aircraft support. Tsunami tank's push way forward, does clean up that wall segment, does replace that wall segment, and the tsunami tank does find the opening around. Does transform there, trying to engage the Striker VX. Try and push on forward, allow these tsunami tanks to engage from the low ground. Ore Collector now seeing a bit of fire there. He does lose the Ore Collector. This Ore Collector is still very much alive. Both sides have not expanded out just yet, so we will need to get that replaced as soon as possible, because it's going to destroy half his economy. Now Tsunami Tank Nano flexes way forward. Striker Chopper VX does get the kill there. And these jet tankers are getting some much needed repairs. Magenta has lost quite a bit of his army. Pushing forward to some Striker VX and Tsunami tanks on the ground now. Favorite empire or favorite faction? Probably the I generally root for the underdogs, so generally the Soviets, since they're generally considered the weakest of all the factions. Do now have the Mega Tankers pushing way forward. Does receive some shots there, but the point defense drones do absorb them. MCV does receive some shots as well. Just garrison. We got some Jet Tankers now flying out for Magenta as well. Magenta's now agrees now to point out some Striker VXs. Has 3 Striker VXs out on the field. Let's get his construction yard redeployed. Tsunami Tank's trying to push on forward as well. Does have one Tsunami Tank here, does rebuild the walls. Striker VX is charging forward, does transform there, trying to engage these forces. And does have the Ore Collector. I'm not sure why he pulled the Ore Collector out, could have kept it in there. Tsunami Tank's charging forward, an audible discharge. May get the kill down the Ore Collector. Got the Striker VX engaged in the Chopper VX there, does transform there. Does lose them both there, does lose the Ore Collector as well. And does take out that Striker / Chopper VX as well. Jet Tango is pushing way forward. There's a large swarm of them. Magenta doesn't have a whole lot out on the field at the moment. The other player, of course, has good eco. Jet Tango is pushing way forward. They could get some transforms on both of these sides. Let's transform down on this Ore Collector. Does force him out as well. Going to sell off some wall segments so he can pick that one off. Transform this as well. This is not going to be good for Magenta's economy right moment because his economy is now fully stalled out. Striker VX does get shots there and does spot the what's it called? The MCV right there. He could transform down it and start engaging onto it. Does take out that Mega Tengu. And this one does go down as well. 5 Mega Tengus there. Green's not eyeing for expansion just yet. And one thing you could do is actually get on top of the expansion point there just simply to deny it. So Magenta needs to pull his army up here because the core can still force, the core itself can be focused down. Got Striker VX pushing forward, trying to go from wall segments here. Striker VX is advancing on forward. We got these Mecha Tengus on the ground. And sounds like got some more point defense drones deployed on the field. Does try to focus on the Striker VX. Chopper VX advances forward, getting some good damage there. Transforms. Does take out that Chopper VX there. Does got the Emperor's Rage there, trying to improve his anti-aircraft there. Does get one Jet Tengu's. Chopper VX is backing on off as well. And now we do got the fresh refinery port. Green has not eyed for expansion just yet. And it is going for a defender core as well. Jet Tango is pushing way forward, trying to eye for some harassment on the economy. Or maybe not. Good number of chopper VXs here. Best finish off, pick off some of these power plants there. Here's some point defense drones there. Chopper VXs rising the high ground. And the Jet Tengu is going to be eyeing for a bit of harassment there. Very, very nice. Warcraft does get some shots there. Trying to back on off. Try to stay alive. Is a little bit exposed there. Going to be quickly focused on down. Hitting the Tsunami Tank first. Here's a Tsunami Tank, not the War Collector. So maybe that was a bit of a mismicro there. Now we've got Green Tsunami Tank advancing forward. Double layering up those walls. Trying to really hold back the Tsunami Tank now. And going to be skirting around. Up here, we got another Tsunami Tank trying to engage the Tsunami Tank. Going some rounds into these wall segments now. And Magenta's Tsunami Tank is now pushing way forward. Gets good shots there on the Greens. Greens going to be now deflecting away. And now these Chopper VX is going to be quickly going to take out these forces. Oh, here we got the Mecha Tank receiving good damage there. Get some good hits. Striker VX is making their way back home. And the Chopper VXs and Mecha Tank is moving forward. There's still a single Tsunami Tank on the low ground. Or on the ground, I should say. And it looks like the Mecha Tanks are getting some good damage there on the Mecha Tengus. Good number of Striker VXs here, so there's a lot of anti-aircraft fire. The Jet Tankus could actually transform down right here and start trying to engage stuff on the high ground. Green is not going for expansion now. Magenta may be able to see this. Should be able to see that. Takes out that Tsunami Tank there. Very nice. Green Tsunami Tank can now advance forward with a little trouble. It's now going to try to quickly pick off that forklift there, but does not. More Jet Tank is pushing way forward. It's a bit of a standoff. I haven't played the Relic 3 campaign in a while. I just am busy on a lot of other things. Usually as well, I've been, in my spare time, I also have to spot Age of Empires 2 replays because there's no replay sharing site for it. Up here, we do have the Warfighter now seeing a bit of fire. Good damage there. Does take out one of the Jet Tengus. These Jet Tengus are flying about as well. It looks like Green's point defense drones have expired. Does transform right there. Does get counter transformed. Does pick up some of the guys that are still in the air. Trying to engage them now. Magenta's force could be overran. Green could actually really pushing forward. There is no... I suppose the Striker VXs could change into Chopper VXs, but then it allows his own Striker VXs to engage. I say Green could have pushed on forward there. Does have now point defense drone spawn on the field on par of the forces. Now he's got a single Tsunami Tank advancing on forward trying to deal with this refinery. And it looks like this ore collector does upgun there, but it is still on the platform, so it's unable to fire from the point. And decides to wall in the tsunami tank there. Immediately starts rebuilding the ore collector. Striker VX, single Striker VX is now coming forward in order to take out this tsunami tank. Now trying to pick off this Striker VX that does take it out. Transforms to engage it. I got all the jet tank mega tankers advancing forward trying to save the Striker VX. He does save it. Green's trying to transform and trying to chase these forces over here. So it's just been a pretty big standoff. Another, oh, that's Green's tsunami tank there. And that is not a sudden transport. Does get some damage there. Striker VX is advancing on forward. A single tsunami tank could, blowing out some tsunami tanks just to push forward could be very useful. Now it could allow you to transform your jet Tengus and keep your striker vehicles on the ground and push forward. And if your opponent transforms the striker vehicles and jet Tengus, then they will receive a lot of damage from your own ground forces. But he does take out whatever unit that was. Looks like a Mecha Tengu. Does do transform there, try to go for a pick. Both sides just really doesn't want to commit. Striker V expands forward, Jet Tengu going to be trying to transform onto the refinery line. We'll likely lose that ore collector. Do now got some tanks being pulled on both sides, and one down flex is being focused down. Do now have some tank busters here. Tank busters right there is a good hard point. Some of these Jet Tengus or Mecha Tengus are engaging on the flank there. Let's pick up that Jet Tengu as well. Jet Tengu is pushing forward. You may need to go for forward for a mass transform. Striker VX engaging. Let's use Emperor's Rage on top of those Striker VXs there. Needs to do a mass transform as Jet Tengus or else about to lose them all. Though they started crashing down, annihilating Magenta's force with the Article Discharge. Now Green's eyeing for a counterattack, eyeing to go for his opponent's base. There's only a handful of Jet Tengus. Some tanks are getting picked on off. There's a good number of tank busters here, and those tank busters are in range of the refinery there. Keeping that in that garrison, they'll engage nice and safely. Now have a final squadron being pulled on the field. Jet tank is pushing way forward. Final squadron's great here, and Green does back of the game now. There's Adam Grade saying, "Thank you for watching, and on to the next replay."